Friday, and I have a bunch of armor that needs to be strapped. I'm Will of WM Armory, and this is a little I call propaganda, and I have shutter shades on it. Yes, it is part of my costume. It is the final piece to the costume. If you haven't seen what I've been doing, follow me on Twitter at WM Armory or at Facebook at WM Armory. I've been working on some armor from Saints Row, a really fun video game series. This in particular is a take on some armor from Saints Row 3. If you're familiar with Saints Row 3, about halfway through the game, there's a group of paramilitary authority figures, kind of like the super police, this dystopian world that come in there trying to reestablish order, and they have this armor. They're called Stag. So they've got this really cool, kind of very simple but cool, little futuristic military, like riot gear kind of armor. So I want to do my own take on that. Their armor is normally white with kind of a green jumpsuit underneath. They've got their Stag emblems on it, but what I'm doing is I'm painting mine as if though I was a saint who took their armor. So instead of Stag on the back, it says Saint, and it's purple. And instead of having the Stag emblem with ranks on the right, we've got this Saints Row symbol right there. So you can see. Boom! Saint, and then we've got that. Got a little bit of weathering on it. So if you missed that, the last stream, which I just uploaded to YouTube, you can check that out. And that shows you how I did the painting, the materials I used for all that. But we gotta strap this stuff. So what we're gonna do first is we're gonna cut all these damn tabs off. So I put these guys on there because when you're painting it, you don't want to like hold it or clamp it, or it's weird. But what you do is you hot glue these little foam tabs to the back here, and then you can clamp it and hang it up, suspend it, and then you don't have to worry about touching your paint job at all. Really clever little trick picked up from Bill Duran of Punished Props, my shop mate, who's at PAX currently. So we're going to go ahead, cut all these guys off. We don't have to look too pretty. We don't have to like polish this up or sand it down or anything, because this is the inside. Nobody's going to see this. So if you're just joining us now, go ahead, jump into the chat and say what's up. A shout out. Just going to get right into this. Alright, so cutting all those little tabs off. That's what we're doing. But let's go over strapping first. What we're going to need, got some Sharpies. I like to use these metallic ones. I've got copper and gold. A razor blade. I like these slide razor blades. Got to make sure they're sharp. So we got that. When you're sharpening, always make sure you lubricate your sharpening stone with a little WD-40. Oh, we got somebody in chat. Coil781, what is up? And so we've got those, new sharpening mag stuff, and then a hot glue gun with some high heat temperature hot glue sticks. So this stuff is great for strapping. Doesn't have to look pretty because it's all on the inside. Nobody's going to see it. So I am Black Hawk, just joined the chat. Alright, what's up guys? Alright, people joining. So yes, Reuben chips, part of my lunch, and they actually taste like a Reuben. Getting into the shop a little late today. Alright, so I've got all those things that we need to the side, and of course a giant bag of straps. We've got a mix of nylon webbing, some Velcro, and also some elastic. And then I've got an array of buckles and things as well. So I'll leave that all in the bag. And we're going to start cutting these tabs off. So let's see, these two are good. Tabs cut off, set these aside. Alright. Yeah, strapping by meaning we're doing wearable straps. So there's just a bunch of armor pieces with no way to actually attach them to myself to make them stay up. So what we're going to do is be adding straps to these, so just call that strapping. Alright. Yeah, should be fine. Tell you what, doing the Saints Row armor, gotta admit, really makes me want to listen to the Kanye West song from that video game. It's probably one of the coolest scenes, I think, in the video game. One of my favorite missions is you need to upgrade your crib. So you find a rival gang who has a rooftop apartment pool on top of it. So your mission is to airdrop in, parachute, land in their pool, kill everybody on the roof, and then you take over their penthouse on the top of this thing. But as you're jumping out of the helicopter and parachuting down onto this, just diving into their pool, it starts playing a Kanye West song, and it lines up perfectly, and it's probably one of the most memorable moments in that game. It's pretty fun. If you haven't played Saints Row 3, I think it's the best of the Saints Row games. 4 is pretty fun. I've never played 1 and 2, and I heard you don't have to really appreciate the other ones. So they're ridiculous. I always look at it as a Adult Swim cartoon come to life and turned into a video game. Especially since there is a radio station that you can listen to that is Adult Swim, and you can listen to like Venture Brothers soundtrack and all kinds of stuff. It's hilarious. All right, let's get the tabs off those. So grab some more. Put the little tabs off. Ah, just one more. Cool. So for under the suit, I wanted to go with like a gray or a purple, but there's only so many different colored flight suits you can get, because it's pretty much a flight suit what you're wearing underneath. So I just went with black. And I don't know if you caught the pictures of me yesterday my shopmate took. Put them all over Twitter of my weathering technique. I put the jumpsuit and all the gear on, aside from the armor, just the fabric, and I rolled down his driveway a couple times to weather it naturally. So yeah, so I got this flight suit, I got some new combat boots which I have to break in, and then I've got some gloves, belt pouches and everything, which is the wonderful part about this costume, and the thing a lot of people forget about when you are costuming at a convention is pockets and places to put stuff, because a lot of costumes don't have that. So usually I tell people to, even though it's not there, incorporate some pouch, even if it has to be hidden and concealed to look like something else. Because you want some place to put your phone, your wallet, and your hotel room key if you have that, and some place to put your badge. So always having pockets is great. But conveniently enough, this costume has a tactical belt pouches all over it. So you have all these little things on there, radios, this little walkie-talkie toy I got, which is not exact, but no one's gonna notice. Well, now everybody knows the truth. But yeah, it has tons of pouches and things on it, so I have places to put my cell phone. Now there's more pouches than I need, so what I'm going to do to make them look full is I'm just going to make like little foam boxes, just like glue and foam together to stuff in there to kind of give them some bulk so they're not so flat. Because really I only need like one of those pouches. So we're going to do that, create the illusion that there's more there, and then my phone has this awesome clip case thing. I'm just going to put that right on the belt pouch here. So, or on the belt, so it'll look like it's part of the costume. So it's all black and tactical. Kermit Spricht just joined the chat. What is up? All right, so we got all those off. So now strapping. So I'm gonna start with. What do I want to start with? I gotta figure out what I'm gonna do. I had a plan for this that I came up with the other day. Let's start with the torso. So with the torso, I don't have a ton of, because this is a very last-minute costume that I came up with. Was it last week? I started it Sunday, and it's pretty much done. So, yeah, it was a very quick build, but I didn't have enough buckles, and I forgot to order them. I thought I had more, so I wanted to avoid that by doing Velcro. If you order buckles in bulk, they're really super cheap. Like, you can get these guys, like 100 of them for like $20 or something ridiculous like that. From strapworks.com, you can get all like the nylon webbing, all things like this. But if you go to buy like one of these or two of these at Joann's or Michael's, you're gonna be looking at $4. It's ridiculous if you try to buy them individually packaged at a place like that. So if you have the opportunity, buy them in It's so much cheaper, especially if you're doing a costume, and you can get them in any size, any shape, any finish. They've got plastic, they've got metal. Yes. So do that, save yourself some money. If it's an emergency, you're like, oh crap, I'm too short, then go to Joann's or something, but you're still going to be paying a lot for them. But I found some kind of cheap, crappy ones. They'll do the job. This is a very fast costume. If I need to, I can always cut and restrap this later to make it better looking straps. But so I went with Velcro, the torso. So I've got these guys. Let's see. Now, the thing with Velcro is you can hot glue nylon webbing because it's fibrous. It's got something that the hot glue can seep into and stick to the armor. But let's find an example. Here we go. Here's the Velcro. But Velcro, not so much. It's got this kind of tight, you can see there, tight weave on it. It's very plastic and synthetic. The hot glue doesn't like this. And if you're constantly pulling and taking stuff off, it has a very good chance to pull it off of the armor. So what I suggest is, you don't have to be good at sewing, because you're literally sewing squares and X's with just some black thread. Is sew it to some of the nylon webbing. So you can see here, kind of split. I have taken a large chunk of Velcro and it has been sewn to webbing, which I had help on that because I'm not that fast or good at sewing. But so that way, now when I hot glue this to the armor, it has something that it can grip to. So then this piece will go on one, and then this strap will go on the other. So that way they can stick to each other. And when you're putting it on the armor, what helps with the foam, grab a piece here. Is you find where you're going to strap it. So obviously I know I'm going to have two strap sets on this, so going here to over here. So we're going to go this way. Just got a question in chat. Hey, you know EvilFX rates? Yes, I have known him for a while. Actually, when I first got into costuming and fabricating, I started following his stuff and following tutorials and his build write-ups. I met him at my very first Dragon Con in Mass Effect armor. He was wearing Mass Effect armor, and I was very intrigued by this whole thing. I had no idea that people did this shit. Stuff. So I was like, I asked him questions. I started picking his brain. I was like, this is really cool. And I have an art background, but nothing in costume making at all, ever. You know, like costumes was stuff my mom made for me as a kid at Halloween. So, but outside of that, like I had no idea. So I was really intrigued by it. I found his stuff online, started following it. When I got some of these so-called EVA foam floor mats, and I just went for it, and I built my own costume, and it just was all downhill from there. But yeah, EvilFX, great guy. Go follow his stuff. Very talented fabricator, talented builder, cool guy. Check him out if you don't follow him. EvilFX. He's on Facebook. He's on Twitch. Streams a lot. He's been streaming for a long time, so go check his stuff out. So what I like to do is take these copper, or I don't even like to use the silver, they're harder to see, the copper, the gold, and then I'm going to draw a little square where my strap's going to be. And sometimes it helps to take the strap you're going to use. So, for example, say I'm using this. I got to take a moment to remember my plan. So, you lay your strap down like that, figure out where it's going to go, and just kind of draw a little outline. And then you would take your blade. Let's make sure it's sharp before I do this. Never want a dull blade. A little WD-40 on the sharpening stone there. Pop that guy out. These things are great. Highly suggest getting them. I recommend them all the time. You can get these guys on Amazon. It's Kershaw sharpening blade. If you go through my website and click one of the affiliate links through the FAQ, it helps me out shopping through Amazon by going through my website. I get a little bit as a Amazon associate. So, oh, another announcement. We now have a donate. Well, I have a donation button down there now. It doesn't look fancy, just says donate. I got to rework all my buttons and information below. Work in progress. But yeah, feel like throwing me something or enjoy what I'm doing or anything like that, feel free. No pressure. If not, just spread the word, get more people in here. That is also greatly appreciated. Alright, that's good enough. Cap that back off. Alright, so then what I'll do is I'll cut in here just a little bit, scoring it, not too deep. Just kind of go one way and the other way. You kind of see, looks all messed up in there. So why I'm doing that is when I put the hot glue on there, it's going to react and it's going to pop open and the hot glue is going to seep in, so it's really gripping in there. That way it's not just on the surface and can't peel off, it's actually seeping into the foam. And then it's seeping into the fibers of the stressing, and it has a much, much greater hold. So that's what we're going to be doing. But first, I have to look at what I've got and assess the strapping method I'm going to use. So it's very important. All right, so we're going to start with the torso, and then we're going to do everything up there. So this is the back, and this is the front. You can see they kind of attach. Crap, see. There we go. Right there. Doesn't fit perfectly, but I did this armor in like 3 days, so yeah. But it's close enough. There'll be a little bit of a gap there. So it's going to go like that. So the idea is that on this piece, on the back side, I will have this right there. And then on this, I will have that strap going there like that. So then, when I attach it like that, it will, this is completely backwards, but it will attach like so. So, and then I can pull that off with the Velcro. So that's the idea I'm going for. Just gotta kind of line it up and see what's going on. So, and I did have reference marks on this. All right. I have a torso that I was using. It's not exact. I got it as close as I could via duct tape and things. Boom! You can see him right there. So this guy, I had to bulk up a bit with duct tape. I measured my chest and my waist, and I bulked up the shoulders a little bit to try to get it as close as I could. Right there. Knock that down a little bit. So that's what I used to kind of build and get a pattern off of. Prior, I was working on a Titan, but ran out of time, and the other reason I stopped doing the Titan, used what I had, and I created this off of the patterns. So it's a modified Titan turned into some Saints Row armor. So let's see. So then that will go like that. I just got to kind of figure out, well, the angle doesn't matter as much because it's Velcro. So, all right. So first off, I'm going to need these squares. I have another one of those in here. And my bag of goodies. Alright. Let's see. So we got these tabs. I'm going to kind of figure out the angle they're going to go. This is where an intern would be great, because I could have them hold this up while I kind of line everything up. But nobody's in the shop today because everybody else is at PAX. Stuck here by myself. Well, the cats are upstairs, but I mean, that doesn't really count. So let's see. I'll go about like that. So yeah, okay. Kind of try to line that up. So I kind of draw some lines on there so it lines up. Side. is dying. Let's get the gold pin. There we go. Okay. Okay. Boom. So now this is gonna go right about there, and then so I'll put these guys together first, and then I'll kind of line these up. Yeah, that's totally in the way. Okay. Let's see. So it'll be something like this. So then what I need to do is get a gold marker again. Exactly what I just said there. Alright. I'm going to just draw on that where that's going to go. Now this guy's dying too. That's okay. I got a whole container of these guys. Now when you get these silver markers, make sure you are putting them face down storing. I like to use a cup or something to store them face down. The other Sharpies, it doesn't matter, but for some reason these guys, the pigments will settle if you have them going straight down, so make sure that the tip down, just the tip. So that's where that's going there, and that's where the strap's going on the other side. So now, I know where that's at. Getting the sharp knife. Just going to score that. And you know what I forgot to do? I forgot to plug in the hot glue gun. So we get to play hurry up and wait. But that's okay, I can line up the other crap stuff. Okay, so now hot glue gun. I love this guy. This guy I've had since I started costuming. Stanley brand, kind of industrial strength hot glue gun. This thing does not screw around. It was a $40 set. It came with a bunch of different tips and things you could put on there. I love it. It's awesome. And the nice thing about this, it has a safety feature that if you forget it and leave it on, it turns off after a while. So it will never stay on. You can't forget about leaving this guy on. It turns off on its own. So good purchase. I think I have this listed in my tools to go buy on Amazon. So if you go to my FAQ, you should find a link to get this guy. Alright. Now we gotta hurry up and wait. Fun stuff. So while that's going, I know exactly what I'm using on this chest piece. And then across the top, I've got, so I got these straps here. What's going to happen with these guys is they're going to go right like that. You can kind of see there. I'm going to set this hot glue gun aside so you don't accidentally melt my armor. So that's going to go kind of right like that. And the idea is there's going to be a little Velcro strap under here, but the whole underside of this is going to be the soft side, fuzzy side of the Velcro. We got this real C. Miller in chat. What is up, man? How's it going? So let's see. So this underside, yeah, it's all going to be the soft side. And the reason is that I've got the shoulders and everything and the neck guard that's going to have a strap to come up underneath and attach to this, and that way I can adjust it and modify it however I want. So I've got somewhere in my bag of goodies. Yeah, here we go. We've got this, and that's going to go right there like that. Boom. Pop poop. Alright. So we're going to have that. And that's, I want to make sure that the soft side, anything that's facing my body, I don't want the scruffy side. So with Velcro, you've got the really rough, hard, plasticky side, and the soft, fuzzy side. You always want the soft, fuzzy side facing you, and everything that's not the soft, fuzzy side facing away from you. So that way you don't get any kind of scrub. It depends. If you're wearing really thick clothing and fabric underneath, it won't matter. but it's always good to have that in case for some reason it does start rubbing against you. The last thing you want to do is get like irritated or chafing from your armor. So let's see. Alright. So this whole underside here, let's lay this down. So that. Use that as a guideline. Boop. Doesn't have to be pretty, just has to kind of give me a general idea. And using the knife, cross hatch there. This way the hot glue has something to soak into and grip onto. So this kind of idea came to me. There's a trick that I used to add detail lines to foam where you score it and hit it with the heat gun and it pops open. So I started doing that with this because the heat from the hot glue gun does the same thing and it seeps in. And then it has something to grip onto. Alright, so I got that. And then on the other side. So how many of you guys are going to Dragon Con, huh? Anybody I'm going to see there at Dragon Con? Good point brought up in chat about the facing of this. So the rough side of the Velcro, if it's facing the fabric, can also damage the fabric of undergarments as it's rubbing and pulling on them and gripping can screw them up. So that's why always facing you, you want the soft side. So, good points, Black Hawk. But yes, I will be at Dragon Con. I get it on Thursday. I don't really have any events that I'm doing, so I'm just going to be roaming around in bright purple armor with shutter shades. I have another person with me who will be Saints Row. He's got a purple suit. He will also have shutter shades, and I do believe he's going to have a bullhorn. So we're just going to be rolling around partying, probably somewhere around the Marriott Pulse Bar area or the Hyatt Bar. In between those two, come find me. Say hello, say what's up. I'll have a pouch full of stickers. Get yourself a sticker. Get yourself a selfie, because that's the Saints Row. Everybody wants a picture with the Saints Row people. So that's how it is in the game. But yeah, come by, say hi, hang out, say what's up. Speaking of the shutter shades, yeah, there we go. Check that out. Which is awesome because, well, I guess it's close enough, but it's all purple, you get it. I'm not going to have any weapons just because I didn't feel like holding anything. But my buddy's going to have some weapons and stuff. I might do something last minute. On the armor, the stag armor, they've got this like crazy knife thing here. But I didn't like where it faces because it kind of goes like right up into your eye. And then they've got this crazy like magazine holder over here. Not really sure. What I would like to do though is make a Saints Flow can, which Saints Flow is the energy drink from the game. But just screwing around looking online, someone has the label that you can download, so I might get some Red Bulls and put the label on there. So we'll see. That's just a idea I have. If I have time to do it, I'll do it. If not, whatever. But walking around carrying some Saints Flow. Alright. How's that hot glue gun doing? Ooh, it is doing. Alright, so let's get the strap ready. That one. Keyboard there. And then I got another one somewhere in here. In my bag of goodies. Put that right there. Alright, I'm going to add a little bit of curve to this as I'm gluing that on. So apply my hot glue generously. And as it's on there, it might be hard to see in the camera. You can actually see the crap. You can actually see the stuff starting to open up there. Those little hash mark or hatch marks and stuff I put in there. I actually kind of start to open up. So adding a little bit of curve in there, I'm going to start by putting it at the one end, lining that up, and then just going on there, gently laying it down, and then I'll go back and add pressure. Alright, kind of hold that for a minute. And then what I can do afterwards to kind of help re-secure this and reinforce it is I'll run a line of hot glue along the edge here, and that'll really help it. I used to hot glue all of my armor, but hot glue is kind of a pain because you have to sit there and hold it. But it still works and holds up for strapping just fine. It's the one thing you got to do before, and I usually do it. I used to do it before I started painting, but the problem is it leaves all these little strings everywhere, and if you're not careful, those strings will get into your paint and ruin it and look like little hairs and screw up the paint job. So I started doing the strapping last, actually, just kind of to avoid that problem with the spider webbing. So and once you're done, you got to go over and make sure, because you can kind of see little stringy bits there. So I will hold that kind of curve there until it starts to set. Put some more of these delicious Reuben chips. Oh, Viking Lass is hosting me. Yay, thank you, Viking Lass. So, the real C. Miller, Viking Lass, and myself, I'm going to do a live stream last night playing a game on Kickstarter called The Contender. And if you ever played anything like Apples to Apples or Cards Against Humanity, it's kind of a silly, fun game like that. You don't have to have any thought whatsoever. It's not one of these like tactics game. You just play what sounds funny or sounds best. But the idea is you are all debating politically, whether for a president or whatever, and you have cards. So there's one card that's drawn by the moderator, or the one person who reads it off, and it could be something like, your thoughts on gun control, and then you have a hand of cards, 5 cards, and they're all real things that have been said before by a politician, and they're all pretty ridiculous. So, but you play whatever you think is best, and you can debate and argue, and you play up to 3 cards, and then the moderator chooses who had the best, funniest, or most real argument for it, and strung their debate together well enough. It was pretty fun, and we just got to play the beta kit, so there wasn't that many cards in it, but it was a blast. Check it out. It's called The Contender. It's on Kickstarter. Go back it. Throw at least $1 at it. It's a fun-looking game. I'm definitely going to get that. Fun party game. So check it out. And you don't have to know anything about politics at all. I haven't paid attention to politics for 10 years now. So, yeah. Check it out. Fun game. Ridiculous. And they're coming out with an expansion from the very recent political debates. And they have what's called the Trump deck. So it's an expansion with all kinds of ridiculous things that Donald Trump has said. Check it out. It's pretty funny. The Contender. But I got to play that last night. It was the real C. Miller, Viking Lass, my shopmate Bill Durant of Punish Props, and the creator of The Contender. So, check it out. It's awesome stuff. Fun times. Fun times. And it was Bill's idea that we all wear ridiculous hats. Ridiculous. So, it is not my choice. I am wearing the douchebag fedora. But it was my choice to wear the shutter shades. So, alright. That is starting to set. Cool. Yeah. Alright. Feels good. Hot poop. There we go. Get the spider webs off there. So then that is going to attach. Which side is it? This side, right there. Cool. Alright, so we got that. Now see how I added that kind of curve in there? It was heating up to kind of hold it to shape. I'm going to do that with this one as well. You can kind of see how it's off a little bit. So when I put that on there, I'm just going to hold it so it curves a little bit, because these are a little too wide, and I want them to be a little tighter and more form-fitting. So as I shaped them and painted them, they kind of came back out a little bit. All right. So how many of you in chat are at PAX right now? Anybody going to PAX? That actually, that starts today. And of course, if you're at PAX, you're probably not watching this. So, probably a stupid question. What else is coming up? A lot of events. This is a popular time for events. There's PAX, Prime, there's Dragon Con, there's Burning Man, and there's Wasteland Weekend comes up if you're into post-apocalyptic stuff. Everybody dresses up as Mad Max style characters and goes out to the desert for a weekend. I'll probably be doing that this year, so I have no idea what I'm going to do, but yeah. Oh, see, the real Steve Miller, he's actually going to PAX. He's getting ready, though. Well, stop slacking, Miller. Okay, where did my... Oh, I set it right here so I wouldn't lose it, and I lost it. Alright. So I added my little crosshatch marks to that. Generously add the glue. And always be careful when you are using a hot glue gun. I have burned my hands so many times with welding and metalworking and everything I've done that, yeah. I just kind of get used to it when I burn myself with my hands and shake it off, but my skin's pretty thick on my hands. But please be careful. Using a hot gun or a hot glue gun, just be mindful of where the business end is whenever you're using it. It is not fun. It's like napalm that sticks to you. You can't get it off. Hashtag blame April. That is right. Real Steve Miller knows what's up. Oh, that's your excuse for why you're not at PAX yet. Blaming April. It's easy to blame April. Y'all know April is Viking Lass. Go check her out. She does amazing art stuff, live streams it. She's the one that got me into Twitch. Hashtag blame April. So, awesome person. Go check her stuff out. I'd already been waiting. Hold this. And this is why I use Barge now, because when you use Barge to put your armor together, you put it on, you stick it together, and it's done. I don't have to sit there and hold it like a moron. But with the straps, it's still the best thing to do. Now, there is a trick where you can expedite the process, but I'm out of it. You can hold a compressed air, the stuff that you'd use to blow off like your electronics, your inside your computer. If you flip that upside down, the Freon inside of it comes out, and it's really cold. So what it'll do is it'll kick this faster, so you can actually not have to hold on to it. So that's a trick. Or another purpose I use it for is when I'm working with clay, especially a wax-based clay, because when you heat it up, you're working with it, it becomes malleable. But if you want to carve into it and add details, you want it to be more rigid. So instead of waiting for it to cool down, you just flip the can of compressed air upside down, give it a couple sprays, and it should cool it down enough to where you can start carving it and doing detail. Fun tricks. If you didn't catch my Necromancer build of the Necromancer mask I did, I used that trick on there. So if you want one of these guys, you can actually get your own casting of this. They're available right now on my store. Go check them out. Grab yourself one. Get one for you and your friend. They don't come painted yet. I'm just selling raw kits. I might do a run of fully finished ones. And they're not having anything carved into it. I wanted to leave kind of a blank slate so you could have something to build off of for your own costumes or cosplays. Carve into, don't carve into, add horns. Use it for whatever costume you want. Masquerades. Whatever weird, wild things you got going on. Alright, now we're going to come back and hit it with the edge there. Doesn't have to look pretty, just has to work. Just has to hold it. Alright. I'll tell you what, the more you stream, the faster time goes by. I felt like it's been 15 minutes. It's been almost an hour. We're at 40 minutes right now. Hot stuff. Thank you everyone for joining me. This is a blast. I am liking live streaming. It has been a lot of fun. Especially when there's nobody in the shop. It feels like people are here. Don't even have to wear pants. I am wearing pants, but I don't have to because you won't even know. Until the camera falls. Well, actually, no, you can see right there. Right there. I am wearing pants. It's proof. Alright. That for a little bit longer. And we'll call that good. And then we'll work on the torso. And the thing I really got to figure out is, I know where these guys connect on the front. I'm not very certain where they're going to connect across the back. So that's the one thing. I have to get them strapped to the front and the sides strapped, and then I can put them on my mannequin and myself even, and kind of see where they connect at. Alright, good enough for me. Set that aside. Let's go ahead and get my little Velcro squares here. Cute little Velcro squares. Happy little squares. Generously add that hot glue. I'm going to blast through some hot glue today. I've gone through a stick. Oh! Ow. See? Be careful. Now, if you're uncertain of the placement, don't go ahead and just glob the hot glue around the outside, or you're going to have a nightmare trying to get it off if you have to take it off and readjust it. If you're uncertain, just put a little circle on there, pop it on, and then you can reinforce it afterwards. And that's good enough to kind of check and test. So I'm not going to put that around the outside until I make sure I've got this lined up properly. So I got that there. And then on the flip side here, got this guy. Don't do what I just did. You guys ever grow up having those dreams where you realize you're not wearing any clothes? I have dreams where I'm at a convention and I realize I can't find my costume. So I have to run around and find my costume. Hashtag first world cosplay problems. I'm at a convention and I have no costume on. Tells you where my priorities are at. Alright. So there we go. Let that sit for a moment. We can put that on, fit it, and kind of adjust and test the other side. So let's set these guys aside. Wow, that's dry. I'm going to try to knock this guy down just a bit. Alright. Yep, still a little nub there. Not sure what's next on the costume agenda for me. I have some ideas that I would really like to do. One, I'd always like to do original stuff, but one of the next big things I want to do is, if you guys aren't familiar with War Machine, popular tabletop role-playing game and kind of campaign setting, War Machine has different factions, and a faction that I play as a new character that was released that has really awesome armor, and I really want to do that. Except the guy's like 7 foot tall, and he's got this like huge sword. So wherever I build it, that's where it's staying. It's not one that I can travel to other conventions with, unless I ship it out freight. So, yeah. All right. Oh, I gotta sit down. A little sore. Just started working out again. Got like noodle arm going on. Oh, good stuff. Good stuff. Feel the burn. All right. That is starting to kick there. So let's line that up. Gotta be kidding me. See, this is why you test it. I put the Velcro on the wrong side. It should be facing this way. Even the professionals make mistakes. But since that's still setting and I didn't glue those sides down, I can easily just kind of work that off. Boop. And because no one's going to see this, it doesn't matter that that looks like boogers now. Hashtag looks like boogers. Yeah, I might have to stop and go get more glue sticks. We'll see. Or if Bill has some, I can just steal his because he steals mine. Okay. Let's do this correctly now. It's another reason you reinforce later. Because you do stupid stuff like that. Okay. Let's let that sit and try that again. I feel like a genius. Alright. Last weekend before Dragon Con. Gotta get this guy strapped, and then I have to figure out how I'm gonna pack it. So, and then I have to write a nice little note to TSA to let them know, please be nice to this if you have to check my stuff. One thing you never want to do is piss off TSA. Because even though I'm not a huge fan of TSA, you don't want to be on their bad side because they can make your day miserable. If you have a helmet, I usually always recommend taking your helmet as carry-on, just as a held item. I do that with my masks, with my helmets, any hard, solid object like that. I will carry on with me because I do not trust it in transit. The foam armor, just try to pack it in a hard shell suitcase. Don't put it in a duffel bag or anything that's squishy. The hard shell suitcases on wheels now are getting kind of popular, and those are great because that way you can get banged around, things like that. But even still, if they check your bags, it doesn't mean they're going to put everything back right away. So it kind of helps to put a little note in there and let them know that you appreciate them and their time, and but this is your livelihood. This is like just a costume, and kind of explain to them and to please be careful with it, and then again thank them for their time. But yeah, you can put a little note on there. It also helps when you're traveling to use a TSA lock because they come with a little key thing on the bottom that TSA can access. So that way they don't have to use bolt cutters and put it back on there, because that's not fun. You cut your lock and it's the only thing holding everything together. And then once you're waiting for your stuff, it comes flying off the baggage claim and your armor's all over the floor, because it's happened to me before. Alright, got somebody else in chat. Storming Gnome 101. How's it going? That sits. Need some more of these awesome fucking Reuben chips. I was almost set. Alright, so now, line that up. Oh, and look, it's the correct side now. Man, I feel like an idiot. I am making Saints Row armor. I'm strapping it right now. If you're familiar with Saints Row, this is Stag Armor, which is the dystopian elite military, except I'm painting it as though it has been stolen by a Saints Row member and reconverted, because instead of Stag on the back, it says Saint. It's kind of like futuristic riot gear armor. Right. So I'm going to slap this on. Yeah, that'll be easy enough to get off and on. Should hold just fine. Balance that something like that. Yeah, right. Yeah, that's actually lined up pretty good. Okay. So we got that lined up. Now what I need to do is put these together. Aw, thank you. And chat said, I am now their favorite streamer. One of their favorite streamers. Thank you. I am really enjoying the streaming stuff, and I want to do it more often. I want to get some better cameras, better setup, better gear, and I'd like to start having guests. So when I move back to LA, got all kinds of amazing, creative, awesome individuals I can have come on the stream. We can fabricate and build things together, have a grand old time. You're familiar with Evil Ted? Evil Ted Smith does awesome foam fabrication. Taught me a lot of what I know. He'll be down there, so maybe I can convince him to come on. The amazing Holly Conrad, or Commander Holly. Maybe have her come on. I got my buddy Steve Winsit, who's been in special effects for, I don't even know, like 8-10 years. Amazing individual. Have him come on. I know Friends of Leatherworkers, other prop makers. My buddy Chad of Haku Props does some awesome stuff. A lot of like CNC and 3D modeling and laser cutting, all kinds of fancy stuff like that. All great people, a lot of creative stuff, a lot of collaborations I'd like to do when I move down there. So I'd like to liven this stream up. And if you guys want to help out, I got a donate button. Anything you donate, or anything that you do, like if you become my patron on Patreon, it all goes back into the show and helping improve this and what I can do and here in the shop. So it all goes back into the shop. It is greatly appreciated. Even if you just want to spread the word, greatly appreciated and helps a lot. All right. What did I just do with it? Here we go. So, put that on there. Line this up. And this time, I'm going to make sure I put it right side down, because I feel like a genius from last time. Alright, so this is where now there's a lot of times where I'm fabricating, like, 3 arms would be awesome right now. I'm so graceful today. You have no idea. So graceful. There we go. Okay. I think that's enough. I think I get the point. Yeah, there we go. Awesome. All right. Boom. So, getting our knife that we have sharpened. Gotta remember to do the little crosshatch thing. And if you missed why I explained why we do this because when the hot glue goes on, it'll pop all these little cuts open. It'll seep into it. It'll have something to really grip onto, reinforcing your straps. Remember, I want that face down. When will this costume be done? A question in chat. Today. It will be done. I could have finished it yesterday, but since I'm alone in the shop today, I figured I have something to do. And I could stream and show you all, rather than stay up late and just rush and get this done. So, yeah, no. I've kind of been taking it easy on this armor, because I got a lot done faster than I expected. So, and because of Amazon Prime and the wonderful 2-day shipping, everything I ordered came in. So, I got my flight suit, all my boots, my gloves, my belt pouches from the military surplus store. Awesome stuff. So, alright, so while that's setting, actually, let's line it up on the other side. Oh, shit. I forgot to do my little cross hatches. Okay, now I can put glue on it. Boop. Alright. Go. That's it. I gotta figure out these guys. So these are the arms. Except, I mean, you'd think like that's the back of the hand. That goes there. Except when they're wearing it, this is like up there, and then this is on the back of their wrist. Someone needs to be smacked in the art department. Because that looks way cooler. I mean, it would make more sense, honestly. So I'm going to figure out how I'm going to do this. If it does go up here and that's part of that, then I have to make some kind of hinge system thing. So I'm thinking elastic in between here, elastic around there, strap buckle, strap buckle. That's what I'm thinking. So once I have this more strapped, because it's a ton of pieces right now, once I have it more strapped together, I'll flip the camera up, show it out, and show you guys what I got. But in the meantime, if you go on Google and look up Saints Row 3 Stag Armor, that's the layout that I'm doing, except with purple armor, black flight suit, and fleur-de-lis, I can't say that right, French words all over. So I've got, these are the shoulders. I really like how these guys came out. These are going to be the shoulder pieces here. These are vinyl cut stickers. Vinyl cutters are pretty easy to get a hold of now. They're awesome. Make life just so great. So I'll go. And what I'm going to do is, because they kind of have bulky shoulders and because I don't have video game proportions, I'm going to add a little bit of foam underneath these. Not this kind of foam, but like a packing foam, like you'd see in a camera bag or a Wargaming miniatures bag. Like the kind of squishier foam. I'm going to have that underneath to kind of bulk up my shoulder a little bit, kind of have these sitting off. So if you look at the little camera up over here, you can see me. Yeah, so it sits a little low on me, but what I'm going to do is kind of bulk it up so it stands out just a little more, like football gear kind of. So, yeah. So these are, I used a program called Inkscape, and I found a fleur-de-lis emblem. I put that on there. I traced it all out, created a vector image, and then that vector image was then scaled properly and thrown into the software for a vinyl cutter. And then we used the vinyl cutter to cut these out. So this is a vinyl sticker that was created. So I did that for this, and then I did it also for the saint in the back. So that's how I did all that. Rather than make a stencil and paint it, I figured it'd be way easier, more durable, and just look nice. Less painting, less time to wait drying to use the vinyl sticker. And you can even dirty these guys up a little bit. You kind of see how it's kind of a little not perfect white, dirty. So since I tried to wet these guys up, came out. I love it. So I might throw a little gold on here still, because it's purple, like white and gold are their colors. So what I'm thinking is, instead of like on the collar they have like these stripes for their rank, I might do gold there instead. So we actually have a ton of offcuts from foam that we've used for padding or shipping props. So I'm just going to use that stuff to kind of bulk up underneath. I'll grab a saber actually. So this is the thickest stuff we have, like this kind of stuff. But I'll use probably, there's a half thickness of that, but I'll use this and kind of bulk that up underneath the armor. It's nice, it's soft, but this stuff is great for padding helmets or shipping props in. Oh crap, I dropped it. It's so quiet and lonely in the shop. I'm the only one here. But that means I can play my angry music and no one can complain. Because Bill, my shopmate, loves ska music. And I like metal. Actually, I like a lot of different kinds of music. So if you look at my Pandora playlist, I've got like 50 different lists. I am quite a music fan. I don't like country. I'm not really a fan of pop. But pretty much anything else goes for me. So, I listen to metal, I listen to rock, to classical, to jazz, to blues, to electronic, to even Eminem and rap and stuff like that. Anything and everything. But Bill calls it my angry music. So, when I'm not streaming, I can play my angry music because I'm the only one in the shop. I feel like a rebellious teenager now. A rebellious 31-year-old teenager. Okay, so I've got nylon webbing, which has no stretch to it, and I've got two different thicknesses of elastic. I've got this 3/4, and then I've got this inch stuff here. I have open. This, which I can use now, it's a little smaller, but that's fine. It's elastic, it'll work. So I've got these. I just got to figure out what I'm using for what. So I need 8 buckles for the legs, 2 on each knee, 2 on each thigh, and then I think definitely the knee is going to be elastic. Definitely elastic. And I think I might use these. So this can be the knee, so it's sturdy and stays in place. Or should I do that? I'm going to put this around my knee, see how comfortable it is. How is Bill? Bill's good. Bill and Brittany are actually at PAX right now, living it up. Bill's got his awesome-looking Shaxx armor, and Brittany has her really cool Vex armor. I love when anybody does something that's not a hero from a game, because it's not only is it awesome to see, but it's fun for photo shoots, because then you have somebody to kind of interact with your costume. So Brittany is a Vex, and if you haven't seen it, it looks awesome. She's got her roll robot get-up, and the Vex are very big, kind of hunched over robot things, and Brittany is my height. She's 6'2", so it just sells. There's this big kind of lumbering robot with this gun. She's got her little boost hand thing. It looks awesome. If you're at PAX, you're probably going to see pictures of them, but Bill is Shaxx and she is a Vex, and it looks really cool. So check them out. They're having a blast right now, and I am here making my armor for DragonCon. What am I making? I am making Saints Row armor from the video game Saints Row 3. You see a little fleur-de-lis right there. So right now I am strapping this. Figuring out my straps. So let's see for knee. The thing was, with a knee, you want it to be comfortable, because if you bend your knee, you don't want the straps to cut into you. So wrapping this around my knee to kind of see that feels. That's not bad. That's not bad. Let's see how the 1 inch is. Now 1 inch is a lot more rigid of elastic, so that might not feel as comfortable. I'm cutting into my leg there. Yeah, no, I'm not liking that for the knee. Maybe I'll use this for the forearms, because that's not going to be cutting into like the crook of anything here. So I'll probably use thinner stuff for the knee, and I'll use this stuff for the forearms. Other things I have, let's see, I've got knees, thighs, I've got shoulders, forearms, and torso. The torso's all Velcro. So let's go ahead and do these. So let's see, I'm going to, ooh, that's too closed. All right, so there's that. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to give myself some excess, and then I'll glue these in, I'll put my arm in, and then I'll be able to wrap them over, stretch them a little bit and see what I need. Now I'm going to do buckles for these so it's easier, so that way I'm not having to fiddle with them to get them on. But the elastic means that I'll be able to have some flex in there. So if I flex my arm or I move my arm around and it changes, then I won't have to worry about it cutting into me. Okay, so I've got that to start, and then this there. Using my knife, I'm going to score this, and I already scored the other side. So I'll need at least that much. And I'm going to double this because I'll need this exactly the other side. So I'll just fold it over, cut it right there, and then I'll cut that in half. Boom! Alright, so that'll be for the other one. So let me grab the other one. I'll set that in there, so I know it's for that. Okay, I'll put a little square of glue there. Press that in carefully. And I'll burn myself again. If you do get any hot glue on you, the best thing to do is try to rub it fast, because it'll help cool it off, and it kind of peels and clumps. So let's just get it off real fast. So we got that. Now for that, I definitely don't use much. It's going to be right about there. So probably about much. So cut that in half. Put that right there. There we go. That Strat. And I really like how that purple came out. That is awesome looking. If I had more time, I was going to add some highlights and things to the other really cool purple. It's a little more vibrant and has a bit of red in it, but got a deadline, got some stuff to get done, so I didn't have time to do that. Where do I work? Question in chats by Harvey and Zoa. I work currently in Seattle in my buddy's shop space. I share shop space with Bill Duran of Punished Props. We're actually just south of the city in Tukwila. But I'm going to be moving back to LA shortly, probably next month. Definitely next month, I'll be moving back to LA. Might take me a bit to get shop set up down there, but I will be up and running again shortly, and I'll be working in LA, which is great because of the collaborative community down there, and also it's so easy to get materials. Anything you need, like, oh, I need this random thing, I'll just drive this way several blocks and get it. It's easy to get materials there. They've got all kinds of cool stores and suppliers, and I won't have to ship anything ever again. Well, some things I'll have to ship, but it's still really easy to get stuff. Because the nice thing is, like, while I can get better quality, cheaper stuff probably online, there's always the access of, like, oh crap, I need this right now. Like, I didn't calculate this enough, and I need some more resin. You can literally just go drive, pick it up, and you have it. So it's really nice. It's really convenient. Really great artistic community there in LA. A lot of people complain about the traffic in the city and the pollution, but what I've come to learn, it's the people that make the place, and I have a lot of great friends in LA. And there's a lot of fun things to do down there. So the community is what made it for me, and I miss it, and I'm moving back. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff filmed up here. That's the thing is, like, there's a lot of places where they're filmed, but all the props and set stuff is usually done back in LA, because that's where the studios are all at. So yeah, I'm moving back to LA. Might do some set work and do some shop work while I get my own shop set up again. So, but I will have the live streaming back up as soon as I possibly can. Alright. Now, I did one side, this side. I don't want to do that the same way, so this is going to start up on the other side. So I need to find my square. I'll try to match that up. Right there. Get my knife out. Am I near Boswell Tower? I'm not familiar with Boswell Tower. I'm in Tukwila. I'm actually near the airport. Near the SeaTac airports. So if it's closer to the city, then no. Glue on there. Yeah, no, I am not in the city. Okay, so that one's drying. Put that there. So then now, there's 1 inch. I'm going to use these buckles. Crap. That's fine. Okay. Actually, you know, before I put these buckles on, I want these to be silver, because they're kind of silver in the game. So I'm going to go spray these guys down with some silver. I'll be right back. I'm just going to go in the paint room. Actually, I'm going to do that for all my buckles. So, might as well do that now. Give them some time to dry. Those are drying. Now I gotta figure this thing out. So these wrist. Let me get my gloves. Question in chat from Harvey and Zola. I am making this for Dragon Con. Got these awesome gloves off Amazon. I love Amazon. Amazon is great. So these are nice and clean, and I went around and rolled in the driveway to get them a little dirtier. So, okay. It's actually filming the camera. Okay. So that'll go here, after round, and then this should go here. And that's how it looks there. Yeah. So I'm thinking this is just going to be elastic, and I'm just going to slide this on over the glove. So I need to make sure it has enough stretch. And I think what I'm going to use is my thinner elastic. Wherever I said that. Yeah, here we go. Because this seems to have a bit more stretch and give to it. I don't need it to be fancy at all. So I'm going to draw a little square right there. And this marker is dying. That is... Why is that in it? That's black with a silver cap on it. Oh well. Oh. Give myself a little bit of excess, so... yeah. Let's do about that much. That should be good. Okay. A little bit of hot glue right there. Oh, wait, I got gloves on. I don't have to get these on the gloves. Let me take these gloves off. I already got hot glue on them. Wow. These gloves fit nice, but they're a pain to get off. Because they fit a little too good. Alright. That's set for a moment. And then I think I might add a little bit of elastic in between there to hold these guys so they don't shift and do this stuff. And for that, I'll probably use the same thickness. So I like hot glue more for strapping. The barge actually takes a little longer because you have to do a couple coats because it will actually, this soaks it up too much, so you have to do a couple coats of barge and each time let it set for a bit. I prefer using hot glue. It's quick, it's easy, it's what I'm really used to. So I use this for the strapping purposes. So, and I make sure that I'm using high temp so it won't get too hot in a warm environment and melt off. Okay. Boom. That's probably a bit much, but oh well. Whew. It is too quiet. Let's get some music going. Next upgrade I need to do is a better, faster computer, so I can actually have music going on my computer and I don't have to resort to my phone, because if I try to open anything on this computer while I'm trying to stream, it poops itself. So, next upgrades. Let's see. Okay. Angry music time? Nah, more ambient music time. Oh, nice. Ambient stuff. Video game music. Appropriate for the build. It's actually a different video game, but still. Good ambient music. So now I gotta figure out the spacing on this. So that goes up right about there. And this will go right about there. So I want about a finger length in between there. That was actually a bit too long. I'll take that's 3/4 off there. Okay. Go ahead and cut into this. Boom! Alright. Just to kind of smear the excess off. Okay. Now I'm going to set that aside. I'm going to go check the buckles, see if they're good. Magic! Now I have silver buckles. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these four, because these four are going to be for the forearms. I'm going to take some... I'll use this instead of the elastic. So I'm going to take and do a little bit. I'm going to find one side on here. And I'm just going to do like a little loop and then hot glue that down. And then that is going to be on the other side, and then I'm going to hot glue the other strap on that side. So I need about that much. So make these little tabs. I need 4 of these. So for those of you who are making it to Dragon Con, what costumes are you doing? Or any other recent or upcoming cons, what costumes are you guys working on? Okay. There we go. So I gotta make sure that they're all facing the right way. So to this side. Okay. So put that through. A little bit of hot glue right there. Now if I could, I'd sew these to make sure it's nice and secure, but just keep it simple and hot glue, and it works just fine. What you can do too, you can clamp these guys while you line up the next one. Never have enough clamps. They're very handy to have around. It's the closest you'll ever get to a second pair of hands. Arms. Okay. Let's see, was the first one I did? That's probably done. Alright. Fallout! Alright. I'm excited for Fallout 4. That and, what else is coming out? Star Wars Battlefront's coming out. That one looks pretty sweet. The one I've been waiting for since I saw teasers for it was No Man's Sky. That is going to be my jam, and expect me to disappear for a week once that comes out. Aw, can't make it to Dragon Con next year. That sucks. But you gotta make it out 1 year. I actually have a couple friends from the UK coming. So, but yeah, you'll definitely have to make it up, save up, make it out. It is a blast. You will not regret it. It was the first con I ever went to, so it set the bar really high for other conventions. So every other convention I go to, I'm like, it's not Dragon Con. It's not. It's not. Awesome convention though, awesome time. Made a lot of amazing friends there. Alright. So, lining this up across there. SDCC is also a fun one. So the difference between SDCC and Dragon Con is SDCC is much more of a kind of a corporate thing. They have all the companies there pushing their new titles and new products. They have like video game companies. They have the comic book companies. They have movies, things, TV shows, things come out there like that. It's more for a promotional thing. There's lots of amazing stuff to see. There's lots of cool things to do. Lots of cool costumes, costume competitions, things like that. But there's a curfew. It's expensive because it's California. Once it reaches 7 o'clock, the con shuts down, and unless you know where the parties are at, you're probably going back to your hotel room and chilling. Or you know who the party people are. So it's just like you go during the day, go home and sleep. Where Dragon Con is much more the fans and costumers. You will see more costumes at Dragon Con, even though there's less people, than you will see at Comic Con. It is very much a costuming fan convention, and it is a lot of fun. They do have panels there too, just like they do at San Diego Comic Con. They do have actors and celebrities. They have Celebrity Hall. They have a lot more vendors there at Dragon Con. But it's pretty much just a 4-day event. Because it's in the hotels, while the vendor halls and some of the panels will stop going, there's still DJs and things playing. There's parties. The hotel lobbies stay open. There'll be people there till like all night hanging out for like 4 days straight. So it is just a constant party. It's easy to find people, especially in your fandom, because everybody's wearing something from their fandom. So it's kind of you wear your fandom on your sleeve and you see somebody and you connect because you both have on a costume from Mass Effect. So it's like suddenly you have this connection. You start talking and hanging out, and it's a lot of fun. And I haven't been to another con that even comes close to Dragon Con. Yeah, monograph for geeks. I think that's a good thing. Yeah, that is a good example of what it is. But it is a blast. And anytime someone is considering going to Dragon Con, I tell them just do it. Go. You will not regret it. No regrets. Just like that. Alright, so lining that up, goes on there, and then the non-silver side is face down, that way I know they're both facing the right direction. So once that sets, I'll be able to put this on and figure out where these guys should be, and then mark them and then glue them. So, and then I'll figure out that as well. Now the one thing when you're strapping is don't just do it like to test the amount you should have without putting something else on. So if you have boots on, if you have thick gloves on, or something that kind of bulks your arm up, fabric, you always want to put that on so you know that you're getting an accurate measurement. So the suit that I have isn't that bulky, but the gloves do have a bit of bulk to them. So I'm going to put those on when I'm figuring out where this should be at, because it's around the wrist. So always do that, especially with boots, because they will add girth to your ankle. So a lot of times I recommend like jungle style boots to people, or the desert style boots, because the ankles are much thinner, so they're not going to bulk out your ankle as much, so it's easier to kind of strap around them. So, okay, that's it. Let's get the other one going. Hey VexFX, how's it going? The armor's coming along great, actually. I'm so ahead of schedule that I stopped working on it yesterday so I'd have something to do today. Because everybody else is out of the shop but me. Everybody's at PAX. I opted to not go to PAX and get stuff done, because I got a pack for LA. So I'm trying to get this armor done so that I can start packing my shop stuff up. Now, these are pretty shiny and silver. I'm going to weather these once I get everything strapped up. I'll go over them with like a brownish black wash and get those kind of weathered a bit, dirtied up, so they don't look as clean compared to the dirtier armor. Right. Set that aside. Put my glove back on. So I'm going to grab a silver Sharpie, mark this out. Ugh. Throwing shit everywhere. Yeah, the weather's actually pretty nice out today. Not too bad. So I'm actually going to use this to refer to how much I should do on the other side. So I just had the Silver Sharpie in my hand, and okay, got that one. Oops, put that on the wrong side. Feed that through. A little bit of hot glue right here. Hot glue. What I'll do is I'll add just a little bit right here. Set that aside. I did that on the wrong side, didn't I? Shit. Oh well. Just going with it. Oh, crap. See? Clamps. Okay. Yeah, these guys are elastic. The hot glue holds enough. As long as there's like fibers for it to soak into, the hot glue is fine. And clamping them also helps a lot. So, let's see. Take this, and then oh, what did I do? Okay. And that will go across there. Just that. Oh, I still gotta go with that, but that'll. Boom! Yeah! Check that out. The new hotness. Okay, so now I gotta figure out where it should be on the wrist here. I already did, okay. I actually need to measure out that before you go any further, because I need that on the other side. sides. It's all hot glue. Alright, set that one aside. Once I'm done with all these, I'll put it on, and then I'll make sure everything fits fine, and then I'll reinforce by hot gluing around the edges of everything. I use the high temp, so I've got this heavy duty guy, it's got a high and low setting. Then I use the high temp hot glue sticks, so it takes a little more for them to heat up. Alright. But I've never had any problems with them at all. The only problem I've had though is with Velcro. So whenever I use Velcro, I sew the Velcro to nylon webbing, or elastics, so that it actually has something to stick to, because the back of the Velcro doesn't like hot glue. So, all right, take this off. Keep down with this glove for a while. Ah, man, I'm gonna drink. Set this guy aside. Got my scratched up knees. Alright, look at these next. So let's see. Actually, I'm going to seal these things because they were chipping on the other one. So, be right back. I'm going to hit these guys with a clear coat. Alright, this is here with a clear coat. Now, let's go back to the chest piece. Put these knees back. Oh, I gotta do this first. Let's do that before I move on to anything else. Ow, mother. Okay. So onto the chest piece. That guy. So the idea with this is, these guys go over my shoulder, and they'll line up like that. So I need to put a piece of Velcro back here, so these can Velcro to that. So I need to line that up right there, and then mark that. To do that, use my metallic marker. So it helps by putting the Velcro right where we want it on the other side, putting the two pieces of armor together, and then where they meet, I'll do a little outline around that. Store that. Hit that with some hot glue. Right like that. And once I make sure this is all lined up, I'll go back and I'll reinforce with some hot glue around the edges there. So now look at the other one, because these are actually, they have an angle to them to go with the curve of this chest piece. Market Pillar Cool has just joined the chat room. What is up? How's it going? This armor is from Saints Row. The design is, but the color scheme is my own take on it. I wanted to have some fun with it. So instead of painting it like the elite military stag law enforcement unit, whatever you want to call it, I'm painting it as though it's Saints Row armor. So I painted it purple with fleur-de-lis all over it. So I am going to have a awesome, fun party rockin' time at Dragon Con. That's the plan. Got my shutter shades. Have a good time. This is the last and final process for this costume. And then a few little tiny details here and there, which I'll finish out tonight. Okay, I'll let those set, put everything together, and then I'm going to figure out the back, how that's going to attach. So, cool. Wow. How's it with these knees? So I'm only use this stuff because it's a little softer, a little squishier, and it's not going to cut into the back of my knee as much. So anytime it's something where something bends, like on a joint, you want to make sure comfort is taken into consideration. Always take comfort. Anytime you're doing a costume, go with comfortable. If you have to modify it a bit to make it more comfortable, do it. Nobody's going to call you out. I actually left out pieces of this armor for comfort's sake. There's an elbow pad that I left out because I thought it was stupid. Mostly, it was more work to do, and anytime you have an elbow pad there, it's going to shift around, it's going to cut into your arm, it's kind of a nuisance to do, and it's not really that important. There's already so much going on with this armor. And I also left out the butt plate because I want to sit down. So sitting is the most important thing you can do in a costume, so always modify your armor so you can sit. Vex Effects. Yes, I did end up having hot dogs yesterday. I had a craving because I was using mustard, the mustard method, to mask these off. So I painted these guys silver. I masked it off with mustard, sprayed the purple on, and then I wiped away the mustard to reveal all the scratches and denting and stuff. And because I smelled mustard the whole day, all I wanted was hot dogs. So right after I closed that stream down, I went and I got some hot dogs. And I made sure they had mustard on them. So yes, I was greatly influenced by that. So I'm just gonna go ahead and mark these guys out. So it helps to line them up too, is you can just do that, and then figure out where it's going to go. About there. Right there. Is that for reference? Okay. Score those. My first armor, I followed the video game reference way too close, covered too many parts of me, and it had no hinges or articulating pieces. This thing in a video game, it can ignore physics. So armor can clip, it can warp, it can bend, but in reality, things don't work that way. So my second suit of armor, I made sure I added articulating pieces in the abs. I made sure that I brought the back of the shin armor down behind the knee. So say if this is my knee, right here, actually, you know what? I move this camera. Alright, so most armor in video games, the shin guard comes all the way up here. It wraps around, it comes up here. But if you do that and you have the thigh armor back here, if you try to bend it, they're going to clip and meet, and you're not going to be able to bend your leg all the way. So what I ended up doing was I brought it down lower to right here and modified the design of all the armor I make. So I added more room here. That way I could bend my leg almost all the way and squat down. And that way I can go upstairs. The hips is another thing to take into consideration as well. You want to make sure that you have enough room and full movement. So what is good to do is you get crappy foam from Harbor Freight, where it's like half the price, it's porous, it's not that great stuff. But you use that, you do a rough pattern of that, you move around, you see where the armor cuts into you, you modify your pattern. No one's going to call you out if you modify the shape just a little bit for sanity's sake and for comfort. So go ahead, do that. It will make your life a difference, because you're going to be in this armor for a long time. The last thing you want to do is be uncomfortable. And also, whenever you're choosing fabrics, never, ever, ever use anything that doesn't breathe. Always make sure you have vents or something that breathes. I left the armpits open on my cultist, and that, I mean, it was still very hot because it was upholstery, like faux leather. It was like wearing a trash bag, but even just having those holes in the armpits to let a little bit of air out and heat was immensely helpful. And always drink plenty of water. But yeah, try to avoid using fabrics that don't breathe. It'll say on there if it's moisture wicking or things like that. Try to get moisture wicking. Athletic fabrics are great. But you work better for sci-fi. For fantasy, it's a little different. Alright. Try to test this on my leg here. When I do the actual armor, I prefer to use foam from We Sell Mats. It seems to be a lot better quality. And instead of 4 sheets, you get 6 for the same price. You do have to ship it though, but it's worth it. It's good foam. Lowe's also isn't bad. But I don't use the Harbor. I use the Harbor Freight stuff to actually use what it's meant for, like to stand on, or for like test pieces and trying to figure out a pattern. If I have like a weird shape I'm trying to get. For final products, I'm not a fan of the Harbor Freight stuff. Just a preference. That's it. Check my buckle. Oh, I ran right into that. So I got a problem. I don't have enough of this. Poop! I'm gonna need one more of these. Oh well. Might be able to see if Bill has some extra. Yeah, there you go, VixFX. You know what I'm about to do. He did use up the last of my compressed hair, so. Okay. That's it for a moment. I'm gonna go check this stuff. Well, looks like I'm making a trip to Joann's. He does not have any. It's all good, though. I gotta take a break here in a minute anyways. So. But we will be back. So, let's see. I'll finish these knees up, and after I finish the knees, we will take a short break. I'll go run to Joann's. I'll pick up the stuff I need, any excess, and another drink, because I am really thirsty. And we'll get the show back on the road. Yeah, I sold all my old armor. And I didn't use this. I usually use 1 inch. This is a 3/4 inch, so I don't have this. I have a ton of 1 inch, so I don't have enough of this. It's all good though. No worries. Joann's is just right around the corner. Should only be about 30 minutes or so. Okay. That's it for a moment. Alright, see how this is going. If you have a link, go ahead and throw that up in Twitter. I have links disabled here. So tweet me at WMArmory. Okay. I'm going to put on the lower half of my flight suit. figure out where these guys should be. Okay. All right. There we go. Knees are strapped. Now there's this little plate that goes across the abs, right underneath the chest piece. So it looks something like that. So I got to figure out. I have Velcro sewn to the flight suit, so now I have to put this on and kind of line that up. Make sure I put the opposite side of the Velcro in the right place. All right. So, little tabs. Where are they? Here they are. Yeah. So we use this silver marker. Line these up. Okay. Crossheads marked, the hot glue grips it better. Take a hot glue. on. Boom. That's set for a moment. One knee is done. Okay. Boom. All right. So this goes here. It'll kind of float underneath there. You can always adjust it slightly if I need to. Yeah. There we go. Boom. It just comes right off. And these should Velcro right on like that. That does seem a little low. I think it's like right here. I can always add that later. That's fine. I can always adjust these two and kind of space them down. These big old guys will go like that. And we'll have that right there. Kind of bulk them out a bit. So the next step, piece all that together and then put the chest piece on. This guy is not quite proportioned exactly to me, so this might fit a little weird on him. Yeah, it's already gonna fit a little weird. I think I see how it's going to go together. I already did some actually at the black brown wash of them. It's kind of hard to see in this light. You can kind of see the grime in there. I do answer streamers, it's just I can't always look back at what I'm doing and go back over. So. Okay. This is low, because the belt is going to go here. This almost needs to go like right there. Almost need to put something here. I might do that. So that's almost where it needs to go, is here. Okay, I'll screw that later. So, I'm going to call right now. I'm going to take a break because I have to go pick up some more materials. Since I am out of this thin stuff, I need to get another strap of that, another piece of that. So I'm going to go do that. Take this white suit off. Alright, so when I come back, we'll finish strapping this guy. Pad the shoulders up. So we got the forearms, we've got the knees done. I might have to do some sewing magic and fix where this guy is at. Once I get the armor done, I'll do that. So the paint that I used, you can check that out. I uploaded that to YouTube on my YouTube channel. You can find the link for that below. And that is, I did 5 layers of Plastidip as a base coat. Then I used Design Master Metallics to do the silver. And then I masked it with mustard, that's right, mustard, the stuff you put on hot dogs. And then I used Design Master Purple over top of that, and then some washes. To kind of grime it up, bring some depth to it. So, check out that last stream that's on YouTube. You can see that. I'll answer all your painting questions. We go over all the painting stuff there. So we'll be back. Give me about 30 minutes, an hour, and we'll jump back into this and finish this guy today. So, alright everybody. My name is Will, WM Armory. Call this little show Propaganda. If you like this, you want to see more stuff, you want better quality, you want more of these awesome cameras here, better setup more often, consider becoming a patron on Patreon, or at least spreading the word and getting other people to spread the word. It always helps. And we have a donate button down below if you want to donate. Appreciate the time and information that I put into this. And as always, thank you so much for coming by and hanging out with me. And I'll see you all in 30 minutes to an hour. We'll come back and we'll finish this armor. How about that? All right, everybody, take it easy.